Okay guys, another video in technical analysis. Today we're talking about breakouts and retests. So this is honestly, again, nothing too crazy. It's probably going to show you something that you haven't thought about before, but the concept overall is very, very simple. So when I do technical analysis, chart analysis, one of the things that I look for is breakouts of key resistance levels and then thus the retest of these levels as support. And there's one particular type of breakout and retest that I like to look for the accumulation of smaller coins. And I'm going to teach you what that is today. We sort of already went over it in the first video in this section, but I'm going to show you it again. And I'm just going to give you an idea of what I look for. There's no perfect way to do this. You know, it's just what I've found that I have just ended up doing, and it's just sort of what I found works. So yeah, let's get into it. So obviously in a market cycle, there's multiple phases, right? We'll draw this. There's the bull run that has multiple dips, 20 to 40% dips on Bitcoin, and then the market tops out. Goes through this sideways phase, which is called distribution. And then obviously it makes a lower low, retest. This is a breakout and a retest on the bearish side, and then the price goes down. And then, you know, we go into a bear market, and then let's move this over. And then price finds a accumulation range, right? And then it eventually, you know, comes up to the resistance, breaks out, retests. This is the breakout and retest again that we're going to talk about in this video. And then it begins its uptrend. And basically, if you're a good enough investor, you can simply just buy the breakout of accumulation retest and then sell the breakdown of distribution retest, right? Because every time we have a top, right, we got that distribution-y shit, and we have that big dump. But we always go up, and we generally go up to the 0.618 fib, and I want to show you this on the Bitcoin chart, okay? So, okay, this is the bear market. So, let's have a look. Draw it from here to here. It's like a 50% decline. Let's do the fib retracement. Okay, it got up to almost the 0.5. That's probably not a great example. Let me find from the last bull run. This is probably a better way to do it. So at the last bull run, we had the top. Oh, that's the wrong one. We had the top here. We had our first big dip. And then price tried to go back up. It tried to get above the 0.618 fib, and it failed. And once it failed to break above that, you know, that key level here, that was obviously the beginning of the downtrend, right? So in a normal bull run, we have these retracements, right? Where we have a top, price goes down, whatever percent, finds a bottom, and then it begins its uptrend again. Like if price went up here, this would have looked like every other retracement, down and then up, down and then up. But the difference was we got cut at this retest, right? It was basically a retest of this level here, right? Which was a resistance, sort of a resistance here, break above, fake out. And that was the breakdown here, and then the retest, and then the beginning of the bear market, okay? So that's one way that you can use the concept of a breakout and retest. It's looking at when price goes back up to test that critical level that it was meant to touch. It didn't really do it here properly. It sort of did, but not really. But like this pump here is sort of it. But generally what markets do is they go up, they have a top, they dump, and then it goes up. And it's this level that you can sell at. And you actually have a really good risk reward setup here, because if price can get above and sustain above this resistance level, if it can stay above here, then that means that the bull run's still intact and you're probably going to go to new all-time highs. But if price rejects like this, or if it goes above and then falls back below, then you can confidently have sold at this level, and you're saving yourself from a lot of downside. So that's one way that you can use the concept of a breakout and retest. It's on the selling side. But there's also the buying side, and I want to show you that with a couple examples here. We sort of went over this in the first video. So this is when. You can see that when went down 77%, and then it went sideways, right? So what do we talk about? Bull market, distribution, bear market, accumulation, bull market. The goal of the breakout and retest is to identify distribution to bear market and accumulation to bull market, right? We're trying to identify the shift from this to this and this to this. So distribution would be this, right? Hitting this level, breakdown, retest, selling here. And then the next way would be, this is the accumulation range, but it's more so here. Sorry, here. So it's a breakout, retest, and then you'd be adding here before it goes up. And you can see that WIF did right, it did it. Breakout, retest, and it went up 500%, okay? 5x. And I gave you the full analysis here. So that's basically how you would use the concept of a breakout and a retest. And I know this says support and resistance, just ignore that, I forgot to change it, on the charts, okay? Now, this concept of a breakout and a retest, I wouldn't really use this as much on Bitcoin or Ethereum. I mean, you could, but I find this works best on coins which do a more organic sort of price action, if that makes sense. Like, Bitcoin tends to do its own thing, whereas these meme coins tend to be a lot easier to do this technical analysis on. So, for example, we can look at Bitcoin here. There's no real clear chart patterns, okay? Like, for example, you could maybe draw it like this. And then you could say breakout, retest, but there was no retest, right? Price didn't get anywhere near it. So there was no retest, but with what's this? With when, it just it retraced into this box, right? The support level was here, right? I was like, support, right? It was a pretty obvious buy zone. Whereas with Bitcoin, I guess you could argue that this was support here, but the point I'm trying to make here is that the analysis I find using breakout and retest is a lot easier on smaller coins like meme coins with more organic price action than it is on a coin like Bitcoin, for example. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong, but